right, good evening and welcome to Design Review Board meeting of Thursday, November 21st, 2024. And approval of agenda.
Move to approve the agenda.
A second.
And consideration of the minutes from the October 17th. Or any amendments to the minutes?
Yes.
Okay.
We've at some point in the discussion, 24/17, I stated that it is not the design review board's purview to review geotechnical reports. It's not the design review board's purview to review structural drawings. And Clausen, I believe, responded that yes, but the wall might need to be reviewed for aesthetics. So I'd like it to go on record that we do not review structural drawings. My comment, we review structural drawings and we don't review geotechnical reports.
No comment.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve the amended minutes?
Make a motion to approve the amended minute.
Second.
Thank you. All right, moving on to public comment, non-agenda items at this time. Care to comment? All right, awesome. All right, so next public hearing and consideration of DRB 24-25. This is a quasi judicial hearing regarding Greg and Sabina Barton application for major modifications to approved landscaping plans in conjunction with a duplex replacement. The subject property is located at 787 Ocean Avenue in a residential medium density zone. Application will be reviewed against the criteria of Municipal Code 17.70.800. -17.70.100.
Good job.
Okay, does anyone object to the jurisdiction of the Design Review Board to hear this matter at this time? Does any commission member believe he or she has a conflict of interest or personal bias? Has any commission member had any ex parte contacts or made a site visit?
Site visit.
Site visit. Okay. All right, and staff report, please.
Good evening. The applicant requests approval for changes to a landscape plan that was approved in conjunction with the replacement of one of two units within a duplex at the intersection of West Jackson and Ocean Avenue. Modifications to the duplex were reviewed and approved by the Design Review Board in November 2022 through file DRB 2219. During that review, the board found that the municipal code requires 40% of the lot to be used for landscaping with no less than 20% of the lot to be used for living plant materials. Based on this requirement, no less than 3,122 square feet of the general common area shared between the two duplex units must be reserved for landscaping, with no less than 1,561 square feet of that required to use living plant materials. The originally approved application satisfied this requirement. The approval criteria are detailed in Municipal Code 1770-100, the landscape design evaluation criteria. And the staff comment is the proposed changes include the addition of a Trex deck on the western facade and conversion of a gravel off-street parking area along the southern facade to Grasscrete pavers. The lot will still meet the 40% landscaped area requirement and a total of 2,490 square feet remaining as softscape, which will satisfy the 20% vegetated area requirement. Prior conditions of approval included the retention of an existing hedge along the southern property line facing Jackson Street, and the proposed landscaping plan will retain this hedge. And that concludes the staff.
Thank you very much. And institutional correspondence.
No.
We'll move on to public testimony. The pertinent criteria to be considered are noted in the staff reports and listed in the criteria sheets posted on the meeting page of the city's website. Testimony, arguments, and evidence must be directed toward that criterion or other criteria in the comprehensive plan or municipal code, which the person testifying believes to apply to the decision. Raise an issue accompanied by statements or evidence to afford the decision maker and the parties an opportunity to respond to the issue precludes a on that issue. Prior to the conclusion of the initial evidentiary hearing, any participant may request an opportunity to present additional testimony, arguments, or evidence regarding the application. Design Review Board shall grant such requests by continuing the public hearing or leaving the record open for additional written evidence. Persons who testify shall first receive recognition, state their full name and mailing address, and if appearing in a representative capacity, identify consent. A presentation.
I'm Greg Barton. This is Sabrina, and we're just here to really answer any questions. I think the staff report and our submission have covered everything that we intend to cover, absent questions from you.
Presentation by proponents. Presentation by opponents. Staff response. Any additional statements? This is all. Forgive me.
Oh, okay. Good.
All right, I know. Okay, and if it's not to be continued, we'll close the public hearing and move to consideration. Is there a motion to approve the landscape?
I make a motion to approve the landscape design.
I second the motion.
Any discussion? I had one, maybe two questions on that. But it was something to do with the ocean setback, encroaching on the ocean setback. It's as far as setbacks, it says less than 30 inches is permitted to encroach on the oceanfront setback. Does that mean?
The oceanfront setback.
Well, I'm just reading what it says here. So it's regarding the deck. So the deck is.
Oh, the deck's less than 30 inches in height.
I see. Okay, so it's permitted to encroach on the ocean front. Okay. And that, the mechanical devices may be higher than 30 inches. Is there a code about height for?
I don't think any mechanical devices are going in. There's no AC compressors or anything like that.
Generator, I think, and something.
On the east side
Yeah,
of the home,
yeah,
I think we are okay there.
okay. I just didn't know because it said it may be higher, so that word kind of makes me, so it may be higher, so it's gonna be 3 inches.
If I may. So I think the heat pump stands about 40 inches, so it's above the 30-inch requirement. It's about, I think, 10 or 15 feet from the property line. It's a 5-foot setback there. So it's, far enough away from the setback requirements.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thing I had for questions. You ready for roll call? Did you want roll call? So if you would call roll, please. We're not commissioners. What is she gonna say?
I know.
Yes.
Member Balagura,
You made that sound nice.
I know.
yes. Board Member Ray,
Yes.
Board Member Clausen,
Yes.
Vice Chair Duber.
Yes. Right. Motion
Thank you.
passed.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we will move on to public hearing and consideration of DRB 24. Quasi judicial, sorry, saying that tonight.
You're good.
A hearing regarding DRB 24-26, J Orloff of Tolovana Design LLC application on behalf of Kim Stevens for the construction of an accessory dwelling unit. The property is located at 1299 residential medium density. Application will be reviewed against criteria of municipal code 17.70.080. 0.100. Does anyone object to the jurisdiction of the Design Review Board to hear this matter at this time? Does any commission member believe he or she has a conflict of interest or personal bias? Has any commission member had any ex parte contacts or made a site visit?
I visit and I'm also friends with,
Joe Fox.
had ex parte contact.
You didn't make any money. You're fine. You didn't make any money, so I think you're fine.
It just felt like I had to say, it's like, oh, we watched Survivor together, okay?
I think you're safe. Thanks for disclosing that.
Can you remain independent?
I mean,
It depends on what happens on Survivor.
Well, okay. Staff report, please.
Thank you. The applicant proposes to construct a detached garage with a second-story accessory dwelling unit on the northwestern portion of the subject property. Proposed structure will be located within the 15-foot front yard setback, and a variance to setback requirements was approved by the Planning Commission during a May 2024 public hearing. This application is brought before the Design Review Board as required by Municipal Code 1770A applicability regarding all new construction or development except for single-family homes, mobile homes, modular homes, and accessory structures. The approval criteria are detailed in 1770-080, 90, and 0100. The site design evaluation criteria, the staff comment is that the site plan included in Exhibit A2 indicates the proposed ADU will be located in the northwestern corner of the subject property. The property does have a 15-foot front yard setback. However, the Planning Commission authorized a variance to setback requirements, which permits the structure to be placed 5 feet back from the front lot line. This placement is necessitated due to the location of the existing house in relation to the property's lot lines. The property is zoned R2 residential medium density and lot coverage is limited to 50%. The lot measures 5,918 square feet. 1,519 square feet will be covered with structure, 283 square feet with other improvements, under 30 inches above grade, and 965 square feet will be gravelled. This will provide a lot coverage of approximately 46%. The architectural design evaluation criteria, the staff comment is the design schematics indicate that the EDU will have an overall area of approximately 600 square feet and be located above a 2-car open carport. It will have a roof peak height of 25 feet above grade. The structure will be clad in cedar shake shingles with trim and fascia painted white. Second floor deck will be constructed from Trex composite decking and have a pre-manufactured aluminum railing. 3 exterior light fixtures will be mounted to the front/southern facade of the accessory dwelling unit. And for the landscape evaluation criteria, this comment is the landscaping plan included shows that the new landscaping will be installed in the project affected area will include a variety of shrubs, ferns, and ground cover plants. The arborist report included as Exhibit A5 specifies that one tree, a 28-inch diameter breast height spruce, will need to be removed due to its proximity to the project's footprint. The arborist report also details tree protection measures that will be taken to preserve a 48-inch DBH Sitka spruce that is immediately east of the tree to be removed. And that concludes the staff report.
Thank you very much, Robert. All right. There's no additional correspondence. Call for public testimony. Pertinent criteria to be considered are noted in the staff reports and listed on the criteria sheets posted on the meeting page of the city's website. Testimony, arguments, and evidence must be directed toward that criterion or other criteria in the comprehensive plan or municipal code which the person testifying believes to apply to the decision. Failure to raise an issue accompanied by statement maker and the parties an opportunity to respond to the issue includes appeal based on that issue. Prior to the conclusion of the initial evidentiary hearing, any participant may request an opportunity to present additional testimony, arguments, or evidence regarding the application. The Design Review Board shall grant such requests by continuing the public hearing or leaving the record open for written testimony, arguments, evidence. Persons who testify shall first receive recognition, state full name, mailing address, and if appearing in a representative capacity, identify whom they represent. Is there a presentation by the applicant?
Jay Orloff, 12 Design, PO Box 563, Canby, Oregon, representing Kim and JT Steffens owners. Thank you. Good evening. As noted in our staff report, we're looking at an ADU with a 2-car carport beneath open. We have already gone through planning for a setback reduction, as also noted. Setback reduction is in reference to the ability of site area and location of the ADU. In particular, it's, Spruce. Looking at our site plan, I'll just go through our pages one at a time. Our site plan shows our location in the northwest corner in relationship to the approved variance, and also showing the our design and direct response to the preservation of the 48-inch Sitka spruce. We have worked directly with our independent arborist and also the city arborist to design a foundation that will not interfere with the root structures of the trees. In fact, that was what we brought up at our planning commission or request for setback reduction. We are actually following the rules that have not been set in place yet for the preservation of the trees. We first looked at location, then we looked at change in foundation and bridging foundations. That's what we have here, is that we have a somewhat laid foundation, but also a pure foundation combination, so as not to impact the root structure of the large 48-inch spruce. Looking at our floor plans, our entry, lower entry, we come into an entry, we have a shared laundry facility, house and the ADU. The house currently has a non-functional laundry facility. So we're looking to combine these two for both the house and the ADU. Enclosed stairway up to a single bedroom ADU. Our going to our elevations, we are having between the existing house and this, we're matching the similar profiles and finishes. Cedar shake, natural finish to silver out, white trim. We are using a black, putting as seen on our materials board, we're proposing a black railing to provide some contrast between the white. And that way we could have use a metal railing as well, pre-manufactured. Our decking will be, as noted, a composite decking, having similar roofing, onyx black. We've also provided a light cut sheet for our dark sky compliant light fixtures, 3 of which, 1 at the lower entry, 2 at the upper patio. We provided a lattice above the upper floor, above the sliding glass door and the single hung windows to break up the monotony of the large elevation scale. Moving on to our landscaping. kept this one simple. There is an existing fence on site, which we will be finding into the new, providing the same, basically the rough line of the existing line. We're gonna put a couple honeysuckles over in the north corner with some proposing sword ferns and hostas, low-lying shrubbery to just accent the corner there, along the asphalt path. We do not, the location is also does not interrupt the dead-end street. We come into the asphalt path rather than the right of way. So I'm open to any questions you might have. Oh, one last thing, the intended purpose for this is for the owner. And it is not intended to be a short-term rental. If it does ever fall into that category, they will follow the rules for short-term rentals in Cannon Beach Municipal Code.
Great. Thank you. Are these plants elk resistant?
Elk and made for our, made for our areas. Yeah,
Was wondering about the hostas, like, do they like hostas?
they haven't touched ours. They have,
Slugs do find it.
they have, oh yes, they do. Like they have gone after my mom's directly on my front porch, opening my front door to see them in their mouth more than 3 feet away, but these should be fairly, they don't bother the honeysuckles either.
Great, thank you. Presentation by proponents. Opponents. No statements. We'll need 3 motions here. One, motion to approve the site plan. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I don't know if we wanna, maybe close the hearing.
Shoot, if it didn't say that, yes,
Let me-
yes, it did at the very bottom.
Let me just ask one
Sorry.
point of
You're good.
clarification before we close
Yes.
the hearing. You mentioned that there's an intent here to follow the proposed tree guidelines. And I remember, I still have on my list of things to do to review that before your Tuesday meeting. Did you change the drip? So you've got the drip line drawn around this 48-inch.
Correct.
And there was talk about changing how that was calculated at the last planning commission meeting. Taking that versus on those old standards.
This is on our,
How big a drip zone is this?
we're going by the existing drip zone, which is the canopy of the tree. Exactly. And that's why if you look at the foundation plan on A 1.2, detail 1, you can see that drip line and you can see where the point of that, we're actually putting in a grade beam stem wall. It only interrupts in that southern edge, and by typical rules of thumb, less than 10% impact does not affect the tree. And the other 3 locations that are within the drip line are pure locations. So those will be small impact, deep foundation. So yeah, we're pretty much following those rules that have not yet been adopted with this.
I think this is a perfect project for Cannon Beach.
Supply housing.
I'm very excited for it.
I agree.
Hope to do more.
All right. At this point, I guess we'll close public hearing and move to consideration. Motion to approve site plan.
Seconded.
And roll call.
Yeah.
Tessa?
Board Member Clausen,
Yes.
Board Member Ramey,
Yes.
Board Member Belagura,
Yes.
Vice Chair Duber.
Yes. And a motion to approve the architectural design.
Motion to approve the architectural design.
I will second the motion.
Call please, Tessa.
Board Member Ramey,
Yes.
Board Member Belagura, Board Member Caplan,
Yes.
Vice Chair Duber,
Yes. And a motion to approve the landscape design.
I'll make the motion to approve the landscape design.
Second.
Want to, feel free.
Roll call, please.
Board Member Trump,
Yes.
Board Member Belladonna,
Yes.
Board Member Ramey,
Yes.
Vice Chair Duber.
Yes.
Thank you for your time.
Yes. Um. Do I ask for a motion to sign the appropriate orders now?
Yeah,
or
yep.
After good of the order,
Yep, that would be, it would be good, if you would do that now.
that now. Do I have a motion for the chair or vice chair to sign the appropriate orders?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All right, and good of the order.
Thank you for the roll call.
Well-
Appreciate it. For a brave new world with AI running everything.
Okay,
Yeah, I think that, you know, if we want to just be consistent with everything else, it's just a good way of doing it.
well, I'm game. I just kind of went with the way that it's always been done.
Thank you for your doing it.
Yes. God bless it. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving, and meeting is adjourned.
Yeah, meeting in December is, still the third Thursday. So it'll be the 19th or whatever. And I think it's going to be the Vasquez is back for,
Duplex.
yeah, the duplex. He was the contractor. So, so we'll have a meeting.
Okay, he's gonna be ready or is,
As far as I sent something out to him today saying the meeting's coming up and we really need your stuff. So I'm hoping for a response very soon.
okay, yeah.
So I'll let you know.
Very good. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
meeting is adjourned. Thank you.